Right. Looks like the connection's good. Yeah, connection looks perfect. Awesome sauce. Okay, if you recognize this symbol, well, you probably saw it at whatever time zone you're in when this live stream came out. I know Doc has, and well, uh, tons of people. Like, tons of people. But if you recognize that symbol, oh, absolutely, this is Oblivion. Well, judging from the title, you already know this. Well, I'm late to the party. Okay, I guess I'll give you a brief history lesson of what my history is, my personal history with The Elder Scrolls for Oblivion. Obviously, I know Patrick Stewart was in there, even though he was in there for short. There was bugs in this. That's kind of per the course for Bethesda, but I remember specifically I joined a cult. I think it was the Dark Brotherhood. I remember I tried to get a rain from a well, and my game glitched, and I couldn't get it. I remember I enrolled in the Mage Academy in that. I remember I met, I think, Sanctum's son. I beat the main campaign. It took me up to 90 hours. Oh, I'm sorry. Up to 90 hours plus. If you're not getting up to 90 hours or more in a Bethesda game, you're doing it wrong. So that kind of sums it up. Oh yeah, I had so many memorable. Like when basically I thought this lady was hitting on my character, invited me to go to the house. You already know what that's about. And then I find out that basically she's an assassin or trying to rob me, along with other two. If you know that side quest, you get a cookie. No, you're not getting a cookie. Or the fact that you have to fight a freaking demon and say, well, I guess this is spoiler alerts. And of course, I heard about the release date for this game. That I was aware of. I tried to shut my eyes and try to shut my ears and make sure I didn't spoil anything about this live stream. Also, Doc was pretty much awesome because he did not spoil this live stream. He just told me stuff that I already know. But I already beat the main campaign. I beat several storylines with factions I was in. My gosh, it's been decades since I played Oblivion. You know how old I was? I'm not telling you. I was in college age. I think basically Oblivion came out in 2006. And I think I got it in 2007 or 2008, and I was just, as soon as I played it and I really got advanced and I got really efficient and really awesome in that, yeah, I was enjoying the crap out of Oblivion. Oblivion was my Skyrim back in the day. Whoever's played Oblivion, everybody said the same thing. Oblivion was just acclaimed, beloved by fans and critics. But mostly fans. Mostly us. So, the fact that, this was Shadow Drop, well, it was not Shadow Drop. It was announced the day before, and then we had well, pretty much, yeah. Okay, so I think without further ado, that's my history with it. Oh yes, I have so many memories with Oblivion. And of course, I kind of forgot because up to 90 plus hours and counting, that will kind of do it to you. So, let's see what this live stream's got. Very much excited about it. Okay, so if it looks like this timer is going to go too long, we're just going to rush through it. Alright. Make sure it's in. Oh, 4K. Nice. For remaster of a 2006 game. Just kind of want to do this. I think it was Jerry Soul. Jerry Soul. I think he compiled the music for it. Or he did the musical composition for Elder Scroll Oblivion. I had to look it up real quick. Man. Just hearing this just brings me back whenever I was exploring the lands of Oblivion. Or, was it the Oblivion Gates? No, Oblivion Gates. And then there was this kind of like guy who served the Sanctum family. Yeah, he died in my walkthrough. I think it's possible to save him. Man, it sucked that he died. Because I like that guy. Gosh, there's so many iconic... That's what Bethesda did well before, Starfield. Even though they're giving us Elder Scrolls 4 Remake, where's Elder Scrolls 6? Did we all just forget about it? Is it kind of like Hollow Knight Silksong? At least with Silksong, we have kind of... It's being released this year. It took decades, but at least it's being released. That's too sweet. Yeah, we're not doing a walkthrough just for today. I thought I was going to, but it got too late, so, or whatever time zone you're in. So I figure I pretty much covered this, of course. This is my, I guess, it's not my childhood, but it's such a beloved memory back in my college days. Man, I remember staying up, like, till the next day several times just playing this game. I would say it took over my life, but I was so invested of doing this. This is like, it was my RPG feel. It was my cake. Well, I like cheesecake. It was my cheesecake that I could eat several times, and it never got old. It just got more delicious. Honey, I know. Alright, I think we pretty much did enough of this. Let's just rush through the good stuff. Gosh, it's so great to see the Oblivion gate. It's so... Or the Oblivion symbol. You know this is the symbol that everyone loves. It's just like... I mean, before Skyrim, yeah, we had Oblivion. Oblivion was our talk of the town. And then pretty much when Skyrim came out, everyone just kind of immediately forgot about Oblivion. Which I understand. I mean, if I had to pick between Oblivion and Skyrim all day. I mean, Skyrim... It's just that iconic to me. It just did it for me. But man, Oblivion, we can't knock it. Oblivion was iconic. There's a reason why they're remastering it. Because Skyrim, they're not moving on from Skyrim. I kind of wish they did because they've been doing it since 2011 and they're still doing it with the Elder Scrolls Online. I would like them to... I kind of always wonder, why did they not remake or remaster Morrowind, because I've always been curious about those. I never played it. But I know it's on... Is it the Xbox Game Pass? If it is, I gotta check it out. I've always been curious about it. That's been the one series or the one game I've been curious about. And I've always been curious about the first two games. Well, anyway. Oh, man. I remember I was a newcomer when I heard this music. I think it was horseback riding, and I was killing wolves or killing just a bunch of people, and then reloaded my save because that's the typical thing to do with Bethesda. I reloaded my save so many times. But yeah, I think I got efficient with the bow and arrow, and I got really efficient with the sword. They had the weirdest leveling system. You have to sleep. Once you level up, then you have to go to sleep. I'm glad that they really fixed the leveling system in Skyrim, because it never made sense in Oblivion. It had its own charm, but it didn't make sense why after you level up, you have to take a full day rest, and then you're leveled up. It just never made sense to me. But I could deal with it back then, because Oblivion was amazing, and it still holds up to this day. But anyway, let's just rush through this, because if I keep... we'll be here all day talking about Oblivion. I imagine you all, whoever played Oblivion, have your own horror stories, memorable, iconic moments, and all that. Alright, here we go. Hey, as much as I want to listen to Oblivion's music, we would be here all day. Alright. Bethesda Game Studios, which has been around for decades at this point.
The others, they were taken to the tower.
Oh my gosh, this looks so fantastic. Look at this. I remember that line.
You hold our future in your hands. Take with you my blessings and the hope of the Empire.
Oh my gosh, this looks amazing.
And close shut the jaws of Oblivion.
Man, Patrick Stewart killed it in the original. They just reused his lines, but man, it's just great to see it with the new visual upgrade.
Here we are, 20 years later.
Jeez, has it been that long? I feel old. What my gosh, it's been that
When
long.
you think about the Elder Scrolls, to us it goes beyond game franchise.
Yeah, it's the DNA of Bethesda Game Studios.
Obviously, we're working on the 6th chapter here, but what's great about the Elder Scrolls is being able to look back at all of the chapters, Skyrim, Oblivion, Morrowind, Daggerfall, Arena, and each of them try to define role-playing games and open-world games for their generation.
Fans got so connected with the worlds we've made and these stories we're telling, and it's really amazing.
Oblivion was a real defining moment in the series and for how we make games as a studio. I think when it comes to a remaster, we want people to feel the way they did then, but it's still a game of its time. You want to keep those bones in place. You want some of that old charm.
Coming back to Oblivion now with this tremendous visual update is absolutely amazing. It's the world I remember, but better.
There's so much there, both for the Elder Scrolls world and also this evolution of our games, I think is really, really important for people to take a look back at.
Looking back and seeing everything we've accomplished in the past 20 years and working with these people, like, it's really special.
Yeah, there are still quite a few people that I've worked with for that long, and it sort of gave me the warm fuzzies.
Oh my God, it's been 20 years? I think the thing that gets me the most is the music. Like when you hear that music at the main menu, there's just like...
Oh my gosh, I feel
There's
that
this,
nostalgia.
like, flood of nostalgia.
Thank you. You summed it up.
Oblivion is the beginning of who I am. As an individual, as a game developer, it all starts with it.
I don't even think it took me till release to realize how big this was.
People loved it. Like, they loved it.
Yeah, we did.
Such a
That's
key
not-
moment
no.
in our history of making games and the evolution of how we build these worlds, and having players be able to come back and experience that is really amazing. We had that really special moment of coming out into the world for the first time, what that meant to this game.
Every time we think about Oblivion, it's, what if we could give that moment to everybody again?
I was
Took you long
born
enough.
87 years ago. For 65 years, I've ruled as Tamriel's emperor. But for all these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams. I have seen the gates of Oblivion, beyond which no waking eye may see.
Oh my gosh, it looks gorgeous. Yes. Yes, this is what I wanted. Oh my gosh, it looks
Whether
amazing.
you're reliving these moments or experiencing them for the first time, the world of Oblivion Remastered immediately looks and feels incredible. When we decided to remaster Oblivion, we were really picky about finding the right partner. From the very beginning of this project, we had one rule. We weren't going to do this if we weren't going to be able to do it right. Our partners at Virtuous went above and beyond to bring our vision to life. The care and love they've poured into the Oblivion Remaster has been absolutely breathtaking.
Thank you, Virtuous.
Welcome to Paris, and welcome to Virtuous. Our team here has been hard at work delivering the best remastered Oblivion experience possible. We've worked with Bethesda Game Studios on other projects in the past, so we know what makes that team and their games special.
I mean, what games have you worked with in the past? I'm gonna have to look
We
that
wanted
up.
to make the remaster more friendly to gamers with modern hardware. This is Oblivion in its most complete form.
Oh man, that brings me back so much. It's so clean.
About time someone got here.
Oh my gosh. They improved my baby.
Those familiar with only some Elder Scrolls lore will now be able to experience the events that set the stage for Skyrim. You embark on an epic journey to stop the Mythic Dawn cult.
The time of cleansing draws nigh.
From unleashing the Daedric Prince of Destruction.
What was the Oblivion Crisis? What happened to the previous Emperor of Cyrodiil? Why are there only 8 divines instead of 9? In addition to the core game, the remaster contains all add-ons, including story expansions, Shivering Isles, and Knights of the Nine, so you get the full experience.
On a personal level, it was really important to me to ensure that we're preserving the magic of the original experience. At the end of the day, we're all fans too.
This is a dream project for me, right? I'm a fan. I have been always a fan.
Well, I played Oblivion for perhaps 10,000 hours.
Oblivion was my first Elder Scrolls game, and it was one of the games that made me want to be a game developer.
The best way to describe it would be to call it a love letter.
Gosh, I remember
You will
these
find
moments.
your own path, but there will be blood and death before the end.
Not wrong. Gosh, this looks so amazing. Guys, I played to 2006, so if I'm saying it's amazing, it's pretty freaking amazing. There's no bugs. It doesn't look janky. It
The
actually
technology
feels...
we used to create the original was cutting edge at the time, but tools have come a long way since then.
Yeah, 20 years is a long way.
The original Oblivion is still the heart and soul of the remaster, but we use Unreal Engine 5 to help achieve all our visual goals. We think of the Oblivion game engine as the brain and Unreal 5 as the body. The brain drives all the world logic and gameplay, and the body brings to life the experience that players have loved for almost 20 years.
But it's not just about pure fidelity. We knew we had to preserve the distinct style, making it as uniquely Oblivion as possible.
The brush opens a portal into the painting. You're stuck here like I am.
Oh man, I remember this
The
level.
Isles, a wonderful place. Good for a visit. Or eternity.
Gosh,
We've leveraged
this brings
nearly
me back.
every major feature from the latest version of Unreal 5.
Our goal was to push the visuals to the next level using the latest technologies. We created brand new, highly detailed character models and stunning landscapes that use millions of polygons in each asset, allowing us a truly impressive level of detail in the world. Every single asset in this game was completely redesigned and handcrafted from scratch.
We implemented an advanced real-time lighting system that accurately simulates how light interacts with the environment. This results in more realistic lighting and atmospheric effects. While the original game had limited dynamic shadows, now the entire world reacts naturally to light.
We used an incredible new lip sync technology that really enhanced performance in our characters.
He left us a warning. Heed it!
And Real Tools helped us create the base mesh of our characters. From there, our artists sculpt each race individually to adapt it to the mesh, allowing us to share the model, rig, and textures. As a result, all races, including Argonians, Orcs, and Khajiits, are built on the same base mesh, making the lip sync system more effective even when the characters have very different facial features.
Welcome to the guild.
We have access to so many modern rendering features. You'll see them in something as simple as running through a forest. Insects flying around, fish swimming in the water, light filtering through the leaves. Thanks to these technological advances, you feel even more immersed in this living, breathing world. You'll really believe you're in Cyrodiil.
I believe you can handle a more complicated assignment. I would like you to retrieve a carved panel from the central chamber of the High Fane.
It's not just visuals that we've modernized in the remaster. It's gameplay. It's UI and UX. It's audio. We've updated features and systems across the board.
We've changed the approach to leveling, which I think will make a lot of people happy. It's inspired by the leveling systems of both Oblivion and Skyrim. So it's the best of both worlds.
Oh, thank you. I just literally
We
talked
were able
about
to
it too.
fully recreate the character models, creating a physicality that feels more human. You see that in places like combat animations, where there's a lot more separation between the upper and lower body, and all the animations have more flourish. Combat in the original Oblivion didn't have sound effects, visual effects, or hit reactions. Now you'll get blood splatters, sparks, and controller feedback. You know, it's a little thing, but little things add up to make the combat more modern and engaging.
There's a proper third-person perspective now. The original had third person, but there was no crosshair, and we felt the experience could be modernized. One of our goals was to have a third-person view that compared to Starfield in terms of playability. Now, the third-person perspective has all the same control you get from the first-person view.
You have my ear, citizen.
When Oblivion first launched,
Greetings. How goes it? How are you?
disk storage limits meant we couldn't have unique voiceovers for all the races. So we've gone back and recorded new lines of dialogue.
Really?
Each race represented in the game now sounds unique.
Can't stand the sight of those creatures.
We also made sure to keep in all of the quirkier dialogue.
I really like the way they say hello. Sometimes it's so random, and then they just, hi there.
Hi there.
But it's like so nice and creepy at the same time.
Stop.
I imagine.
You violated the law. Stop! You violated the law.
Stop, criminal scum.
Stop right there, criminal scum.
Cheese for everyone.
Cheese for everyone!
I feel that. Thank you.
We are going to steal one of the Elder Scrolls from the Imperial Palace. You need to find the reading room. The blind priests will deliver a scroll to you there. Do not speak to the priests. They're blindfolded. I've chosen you because you are the best. Good luck.
I think I know where this is going, and I love it.
Stop! You violated the law. Your stolen goods are now forfeit. Then pay with your blood.
As games have developed over the past 20 years, players have come to expect a certain suite of tools and controls.
Like sprinting. Sprinting is an interesting one because there was such a big debate internally among our teams. Some of us were absolute purists, but ultimately, we decided it's 2025 and people are going to want to sprint. In fact, all of the character locomotion has been completely redone from scratch, and that has a huge impact from the very beginning of the game.
Every single updated or new feature was implemented with the player in mind. It all comes down to what makes Oblivion, Oblivion. What are those features that just immediately come to mind for players when they think of the game?
The mini-games are the mini-games. Those are so iconic to Oblivion.
Great! How's it go again?
Like lockpicking. You can put a fresh coat of paint on it, but you can't change it too much because it's part of the core experience.
It is.
Whether you're returning to Cyrodiil or you're a newcomer,
I'm going to follow you and watch you and worship the ground you walk on.
you will instantly feel at home. It just feels better. We've modernized a lot, but it's still the same incredible adventure and the same carefully handcrafted world.
Well,
it
it's
should
about
be.
time. Do you know how long we've been waiting?
Oblivion is a core part of the story of Bethesda Game Studios. None of what we're surrounded by right now would be here if we hadn't made that game and if it hadn't been the success that it was. The effort that we put into it, the sort of the love that went into it, I think that comes across on the screen.
To have worked on something that people care enough where you're in a position where you can remaster it, it's a privilege.
And now, to help introduce this game to a new generation of players, I feel so lucky.
I really think that people, when they jump back into the remaster, they're going to be shocked at just how good the game looks. The Oblivion gates look absolutely incredible, and I think they're just going to find themselves lost in the world.
Even if it's just the music, for example, just walking around for half an hour in the world, you feel something, and that's precious.
You're going back to a world that you've been to before, but it's better somehow. Like, it's an intangible thing, but it's like, it's new, it's fun, like it's exciting again.
But it's ultimately the same game. There was a lot of respect for what was before, and I think the fans will appreciate that.
Yes, we will.
From all of us at Bethesda Game Studios
and Virtuous,
we want to thank you for joining us today. Oblivion has a very special place in my heart, and being able to work on this remaster and bring it to a new generation of players has been an incredible experience. We were too excited to get it in your hands and didn't want to just show it off to you and then make you have to wait. The best part of my job is that I get to be the one to announce that the Oblivion remaster will be available today.
Thank you. Thank you. I very much appreciate that. We all would have been pissed.
I was born 87 years ago. But for all these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams. This is the 27th of Last Seed, the year of Akatosh 433. These are the closing days of the Third Era, and the final hours of my life. I have seen the gates of Oblivion, beyond which no waking eye may see. This is only the beginning. Worse is yet to come. Looks clear. A trap!
The time of cleansing draws nigh.
Who now will save us from the coming darkness? Here you must find your own path.
Remember the Emperor!
Find him, and close shut the jaws of Oblivion.
Chills. I can't believe it's available today. I can't believe it's available today. I love that. Oh, you know that guy who was making an announcement. Ah, chills. Chills. I just can't believe it's out. I already wishlisted it by the time he said, like, and we didn't just want to show you the trailer. We actually just wanted to, you know, give you a release date. And the release date is now. You did an Alan Wake 2, like what Sam Lake did. He's like, oh, and the DLC is coming out now. I love when developers do that. Or I love when game directors do that. Or giving us the good news. We need that. We don't need just like delay, like we're hard at work and all that. If you don't have anything to show, then absolutely don't tell us anything. But if you have absolutely things to show, in this case, and if it's a beloved title, you best believe you better make sure you have a release date. Because Kojima said, oh, we're hard at work at Death Stranding 2. It just agonized us for all the long wait. It did. It really pissed us off. And then he actually did his, like, Death Stranding 2 panel. And then we were all happy. We're like, yeah, we have a release date. Oh, snap, you actually have a release date. And a rating. So we're getting a release date. Here's a release date. Oh, shit, yeah. And that's how we felt with this one. Gosh, so much nostalgia. Anyway, let's move on.
Wow, what did we just witness? The worst kept secret ever? Maybe. Probably. But you
It's
just
not
witnessed
worse secret,
the Elder
but-
Scrolls Oblivion Remastered Direct. that is coming to you today, maybe even now. I don't know. We'll have to check after this stream. I'm joined by the wonderful, talented, incredible Wes Johnson. You.
Ah, hi.
And Wes, who do you have here with you?
This is Finn.
Oh, hi,
yes, he knows his name now. Hello there, Finn. How are you? I mean, for the sake of this, we can call him Barbas if you'd like. But he's a sweetie pie, and he wanted to get his time, Mr. DeMille.
That makes sense. I wouldn't. If I had a new puppy, I would totally bring that puppy with me everywhere.
I take him everywhere. You ever heard the Harry Nilsson's puppy song?
No.
It's like, I take my puppy everywhere. Da, da, da.
Well, for you, those of you joining us, either new or from the direct, we're going to be sharing some gameplay of Wes's old stomping grounds, but newer now with the remastered version.
I can't wait.
So, Wes, for those that do not know you, first, shame on you if you don't. But if you don't,
sorry, I don't.
Why don't you tell our friends here what roles or role you have done in Oblivion?
In Oblivion, you're going to probably bring some memes back to life.
Can't wait.
So if like you walk out of someplace with a fork, I would be there going, "Hold, criminal scum! Your stolen goods are now forfeit. Pay with your blood." That's a lovely one. The
That's very
Imperial Guard
aggressive.
song is out there now, and all sorts of things that people had fun with. Sheogorath, Daedric Prince of Madness, at your service. And I love this because I'll never be able to order a cheese pizza again because people use the soundboard and they call the pizza shops and they're saying, what can I do for you today? Cheese! You want a cheese pizza? I want cheese for everyone! How many would that be, sir? And so I can't call anywhere as Sheogorath to order a pizza because I'll never get it, or I'll get it with a lot of
I mean,
spit.
honestly, you're doing
Oh my
everybody
gosh,
a
I
favor.
love that.
too, so.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
in your
This
shirt,
is
it's
worth it.
totally on theme today as well.
Yeah, wearing my Sheo shirt. I've got, and of course, there's where is it? My Dark Brotherhood
We
pin
did
here.
that meme so
Lucian
much
Childs,
back in the day.
Dark
I love it.
Dear child of Sithis, I don't spread rumors, dear child. I create them. So yeah, I loved Oblivion. Oblivion to me was, I mean, I've loved all the games. I loved Morrowind. Ah, yes, we've been expecting you. Come right in. I love Skyrim, which is fantastic, but Oblivion to me was where I came out to play, and it was the original. All the races had the same voices. Oh man, there's so much crossbreeding amongst the Imperial Guard. You know, Mom, Dad, the family reunions were very confusing. But
It's a lot of love.
I know, but I just absolutely loved that game, and as other games came along, and then you got to see Skyrim with its 10th anniversary edition, and when I first put that on the Xbox Series X. Oh my God, the visuals to me were just, I was blown away. And to make Oblivion now have that kind of feel, that kind of look, the gameplay, the graphics, I mean, if I walk up to a lady in the middle of one of the towns and tap her on the shoulder and she turns around and does not look like Terry Jones in drag from Monty Python, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I mean, I love the game. So now people are going to get a chance to see it with brand new eyes. And for people who've only ever played Skyrim, this is going to be kind of a revelation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the predecessor, so it's taking people back.
Oh my goodness, look at that. And this is the mouth to the Shivering Isles. Look at the difference, the graphics, how sumptuous it is, the detail on this. Not just on the backgrounds, not just every leaf on a tree, but looking at the clothing, at the uniforms that they're wearing. I mean, he's wearing leather, and he's wearing some fur, and you're seeing all the details on every little thing. This guard right here, this guard, people are like, that's so effective. He seems to have this cold out there in the middle of this island where the winds are whipping around, and I had a cold. I was really, really sick that day. But
you didn't have to go that hard into the role, Wes.
I know, I'm method, so method. But look at that. Now, there's the door to the fringe, and inside, what's going to happen? Oh, look at the screens. Even the screens, the loading screens look so much sweeter and more detailed. And there he is, Haskell. Look at him, sitting there all bald and boring. Haskell, your room's very dark, just like your personality. Hurry up and talk. Oh, look at the detail on Haskell's face. You can really see what living with Shea Gorth has done to him. He looks like Marley's ghost there.
I mean, this is the first time you're seeing the remastered,
This is the first
isn't it?
time I've seen any of this, and the detail and the expression on the face, he just looks so weary, so put upon.
Well, it's been almost 20 years, so we've had a lot of ability for technical advancements from there. So
Yes, and imagine
and age, I guess. For
20,
him as well.
20 years in the service of Shea Gorth is going to age anybody,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I like his puffy sleeves there. That little Seinfeld puffy sleeves.
Now, what would you say your favorite role has been for Oblivion, or which character do you feel like you gravitated the most towards?
Well, that's the thing people ask me all the time, who's your favorite character to play this? And that's a Sophie's choice, because you bring a little of yourself to every role you do. You got to bring, these are all like my children. So, I mean, I love Lucian, I love Shea Gorth, I love them all for very different reasons. I remember working with Mark Lampert for this game, and we're doing the same Imperial Guard voice, even the Gray Fox, like capital, but he's still very much the Imperial. But then he gets to Lucy and he goes, this guy's a little different, a little darker, a little more macabre. So I think about it for a second, and I start going into this thing, and in my mind, you try to get an image of who the character is. And for me, he was twisted and gaunt and bent and just insidious.
Does it take you, is it that quick for you sometimes when you like get a breakdown of a character?
Sometimes it can, and sometimes I take time. Shea was a different thing. But with Lucian, I had a, come here, Bubby, it's okay. With Lucian, the image I had in my mind as I portrayed him at first was completely different from the image of what he ended up looking like. You know, he ended up looking, they made him this gorgeous guy, you know, and when we were looking at him going, oh my God, he's gorgeous, and he has a heart of darkness, the perfect man. So, but he was so much fun to do. And people say, do you know what happened to him? Spoilers. You just finish your lines. So when I'm playing the game and I get to that point in the game, I'm like, oh, you know, I'm experiencing it as well. And, oh, look at this, the butterflies. The breakaway into the Shivering Isles and the butterflies. That is beautiful. And Haskell's out of there, man. It's quitting time. Look at that. Through the fringe of madness. Yeah, with Shea Gorth, I had about a week to prepare. And I was told, we want something a little more stand-up, but we want him to feel dangerous but funny. And they said, maybe something like Robin Williams. And I thought, no, Robin Williams was a bit too cuddly, you know. As Shea Gorth, I'll skip rope with your entrails. I don't believe you. So,
admittedly, that would be an interesting thing to see Robin Williams talking about.
I know, but I thought, where could I find my inspiration for this character? And I started thinking about different stand-up comedians who would I find dangerous, that I would love to have a drink with, and laugh and joke, but afraid they might beat me up at the end of the night. And I came up with Billy Connolly, the Scottish comedian.
Oh yes.
But I thought, I can't just do a straight up Billy Connolly. He can be my spirit animal. But it didn't seem, it felt too, he's not Scottish. And I thought, well, I've got this friend who runs the Irish Channel down in DC. His name is Tom Stack. And Tom is he's from Cork, Ireland. And so there's this Irish accent. And I thought, what if, because he's got mania and dementia, this character can go between an accent fluidly. Like you think he might be Irish, you think then maybe he's Scottish when he gets more manic. But what happens when he gets deadly serious? There are a few moments where it drops completely. Why? Because everything else is an affectation. He does what he wishes to do. And so, like the brain pie line, where you'll hear all three separate things.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and he starts wondering what you're like, perhaps brain pie. Perfect! Care to donate?
That adds an extra layer of terror to
Yeah,
his character
and
for sure.
you just don't know where he's going to land with some of these things. Whether it's friendly, whether it's deadly, whether it's over the top, whether he's crazy mad. I just had to sit there and let that thing flow back and forth. And I think from what I was told later, Todd was listening to it and they weren't expecting that. And so it threw him off a little at first. And then the more he listened to it, the more he was like, oh, no, I like this. I like this. And that's who Sheo became.
And you define the character through multiple games and multiple universes.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing to be able. I love more than anything trying to figure out who a character is, and the Rubik's Cube of their personality and the whole thing.
And I imagine though the character is designed by somebody else, that you get to input a lot of your influence and sort of direction on it, even still.
Well, you have to bring a sense of life to it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when someone is writing it, they're bringing their sense of life to it, their experience. But you don't know their experience, but you know the circumstances of the character, and you can build something upon the character, and then, live in that space, become somewhat that character, which is why every one of them become like children of mine.
I hope you don't become too much.
Oh, no. There are some days. The one I don't want to become the more like is Hermaeus Mora. And
that would also be terrifying, yes.
Yeah, Mel Blanc used to look at the photographs of the characters that he was doing and would base them on that, like Sosia Shergala from Morrowind. I saw him. So every one of the Bretons seemed like an old bald guy with a goatee. But you look at Hermaeus Mora and you're like, 1 million eyeballs and 1 million tentacles. What does that sound like? And, I worked with D.B. Cooper as the director for the ESO.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to do some adaptation because he was very slow and ponderous in some of the earlier games, and with clips and lisps and clicks and all this. But I adapted it but kept it the same as well. And the explanation that I come up with, why does he sound a little bit different? Where on Hermaeus Mora do you see a mouth?
I don't even want to know where the mouth is, honestly.
I know. I think you're hearing him telepathically. And just like with every telepathic thing, you may have a better receptor to hear than another character would have.
Yeah, that makes
Some
sense.
people would have a less sensory perception, and so it might be a little more muddled. It might be a little more clicky, might be a little draggy, because that is how your extrasensory perception of their voice is. However, if you're a little stronger and you've got a little bit more going for you in that regard, suddenly it's a little clearer. It's like the difference between the Beatles listening to Helter Skelter on vinyl, then later on CD. Oh, it's so much clearer. Manson was like, I wasn't meant to kill anybody after all. So yeah.
Okay.
That's there. Long answer, but
it's a perfect
I
answer.
love doing it. I love doing it.
And I know you don't have necessarily a favorite character because they are your children, but do you have a favorite line that you've done, or at least like maybe a handful of lines?
I do love the line where, Lucy and LeChance does say, "I don't spread rumors, dear child. I create them." And the only thing that bugs me is when Knights of the Nine came in, you're talking to Lucian and you ask him about rumors, and he goes, "I heard there's a prophet down by the..." And I'm like, no! No, Lucian, come on, man.
Just put time to him. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I do love some of those lines. The cheese line really took off. I mean, the cheese for everyone.
I mean, I got you the sign specifically.
I know. Look at that. Cheese for everyone. It was just a couple of lines in the middle of Oblivion, and it took off and had a life of its own.
I mean, who doesn't love cheese? Though,
Everybody loves
like,
cheese.
If somebody said it to me, I'd be really happy.
Yeah. I went to Amsterdam with the ESO crew and went to the cheese shop, bought a bunch of cheese, and took a picture out there, and everybody was just like, "Well, there he is in his natural habitat." Cheese. And there wasn't enough for everyone. Sorry.
That would have been a lot of cheese. You probably would have you had to ransack the whole shop.
You got to go through customs.
It's difficult. Nobody wants to deal with that.
Yeah. How much cheese do you think you're going to eat, sir?
Enough.
Enough cheese. Is there ever enough?
There's never enough cheese.
No, we're still in the Shivering Isles, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're going to traipse around the Shivering Isles for a little while.
And look at some of the faces and the hair, so much more defined.
And this is something that does come in the remastered. You get all of the DLC with it, so.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so it's the full package.
So you get Knights of the Nine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Pelin the White Strake. I was Pelin. But it's one of the ones that people don't think about. What's the guy's name? Begins with a U. Lives in a cave. You get the staff of Sheogorath from him later.
I'm looking at my friends off camera.
I forgot that I'd done the character.
Oh, really?
And I'm playing.
I guess when you do so
game.
many, it probably just like kind of blurs together unless it's something like really big, right?
Some of them really stand out. They're much bigger, but I was the torturer. I was the guy, as the Hermes Columbus, the suicidal guy.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all fun roles to play. But I love how the suicidal guy is begging you to kill him, and at the end he's like, "What are you doing?" But all the voices in this are the same, so we get to hear this fella right here, yeah?
Yep.
Craig Seckler is the adoring fan. And seeing him wearing one of those...
I didn't murder him, I swear. I mean, not yet anyway.
Look at that.
Should I?
Yeah, in tribute to Craig.
How do I look?
Lovely. It's lovely.
My sword.
Like a rock star.
Should I just keep this on the whole time? Man, you got through that lockpick quick. I remember we did an Oblivion stream.
That's a little different,
couple
isn't
years
it?
ago, and it was like torture watching my friend try to do the lockpick and just failing every single time. But yeah, the same one.
Watching someone play a game is fun, like this, when you're battling skeletons. When it takes them an hour to pick a lock, and they're saving and going back again and again and again, it's like, call me.
It's funny at first, and that was a live stream too, so it was funny at first, but then it's just like, okay, all right, and then stream's over, rage quit,
Lockpick, the live stream.
So can you tell us anything about your first interaction with Bethesda Game Studios, like how you started with the team here?
My first game was Morrowind, and I went, we were recording at a place called Absolute Pitch in D.C. A fellow by the name of Chip Ellinghouse was recording us. But my director was Todd Howard.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we sat there and went through all the different characters, the Bretons, and different Daedric gods, and some orcs, and all sorts of things. We were having a good time. I do remember going down to Oblivion and getting, taking a break and getting a croissant and just chatting, walking. And the thing is, Todd's always been very passionate about these games, you know. That's the thing that people don't. I don't think people realize just how deeply enmeshed into the game world he is. I mean, the old top-down turn-based type games, the board games, things of that sort, and to bring the spirit of those into these worlds. And, you know, Morrowind was kind of a real departure for the Elder Scrolls, which had been much less graphically robust.
That was a nice way of putting it.
Yeah. And,
it's retro. Don't worry about it.
yeah. And the voice acting was very sparse then. It wasn't even that much more in Morrowind, but what was there was really fun and really good to do. And I started playing that game, getting 700 hours in. You know how it goes. You think, I'm going to play for half an hour before bed, and the next
Without
thing you
question.
know, birds are chirping outside, and your day is toast.
What day is it?
And you go to sleep and dream in that world. Which was interesting because I had not had the experience of I've done some games and things of that sort. I played, I think in Unreal 2, like 200 different people dying in 500 different ways.
Oh my gosh.
I was basically the equivalent of a Wilhelm scream. And this one I really wanted to play, and I got into it. And I started dreaming in that world. And when I started voicing Oblivion, I knew where to close my eyes and see the world around me. Now, maybe in Oblivion I didn't see any silt striders, and there were no
it's crazy that we're here
boots
for this OG guy.
that would help me fly from one end to the other. Thank God there were no cliff racers.
You mean you don't want to hear the screaming sounds of the cliff racer as you close your eyes and try to sleep?
I got some real Samuel L. Jackson choice quotes in on those cliff racers along the way. Yeah, but I saw that world. And I lived in that world because I lived in the world when I was playing the game. And I discovered something. The more you play the games, the more immersive your performance can become because you know the world not like everybody else is going to know it. The games become so, like almost virtual reality. You're sucked into them. These worlds become sometimes even more real than your own world. I was able to take, I started working with Mark Lampert, and he was like, with the Imperial Guards, let's go less what you were doing with the Bretons. I want you just to give me, these guys are full of testosterone. And we found the voice that we wanted for that. And so the Imperial Guards are the first ones that I did. But then I started doing some of the other characters around it. I'm really proud that Lucien Lachance was one of the first voices that ever broke through the voice class system in Elder Scrolls. And by the time Shivering Isles came around, we had a bunch of different voices suddenly. It really changed things a lot. So watching it grow and doing these things and to be able to perform alongside folks like Linda Carter, who's been in these, that our party for Oblivion, a lot of the big game parties have been pretty crazy at different places. Oblivion, in a way, was kind of a lot more sedate, but still was big at the time. We went on like this one cruise ship on the Potomac where they had dinner. And we're all out there and hanging out and eating dinner, going up top, recreating Titanic scenes on the edge of the boat.
As you do.
As one does, yeah.
Always does.
And it was so fun, and getting a chance to see and talk with Linda Carter, who it turns out is also a huge Washington Capitals fan.
Also a win.
Yeah. And that, the Capitals stuff came into play. Because when I started doing the arena announcer, I'd been doing the Capitals for about, I guess we started recording this, in 2003? So I'd been the arena announcer for about 3 years. And I was learning who I was and doing things. And I asked Mark, how do you want to do the arena announcement? He's like, you know, kind of what you're doing with the caps, only on steroids, because these are gladiators. I thought, okay. So I brought that oomph. I unleashed
the
fury. Yeah. You know, good people of the city of Cyrodiil, welcome to the arena. And I started taking some of that I did with Oblivion and bringing it to the capitals. And the two of them began to merge together until I became sort of over the top with people going, you're not old school, you're not classic, you're just a rebel punk is what you are. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. So I'm a rebel punk, but I'm out there unleashing fury. I'm a fan with a microphone, and I'm going nuts. And a lot of the development into that started with Oblivion. What's really weird is that I've been doing that now for 25 years for the Capitals. And in that time, as other people retired and left the job, all the people who are out there saying, you're not old school, you're not traditional, started replacing the old school and traditional guys with people who sounded like me and were doing the things I did. So 25 years later, guess what? I'm old school, doing what I did when I was a young punk. So, you know, thank you, Oblivion. Thank you, Mark, for helping change how I do things, you know, and that's the thing. Over this period of time that we've done these games, over this period of time that we've worked with all these different characters, I'm constantly learning and I'm constantly growing and constantly grateful for the opportunity to bring new characters to life, like Johannes Verlaine in The Gold Road, where it was very emotional. It was a very emotional piece, and I was able to, as a parent, everybody has regrets. You know, no matter how good a job you've done, you have regrets. And I channeled that into this character who died and left things unsaid and undone with his son, and is given a chance through, you know, the magic of this world and Hermaeus and all sorts of things, to be able to come back and try to make amends. And it was hugely emotional for me.
Especially because you say you put so much of yourself into the characters you're doing.
Yeah. And after we were done and I was working with DB on, I said, wow, that one was a little intense. And she said, yeah. I love working with her. It's like a waltz. It's like a dance, you know. But I see something after the game comes out. Somebody has a photograph of some dog looking really sad in the back seat going, who is the actor for Johannes Verlaine? They just killed me. And I'm like, yes.
Nailed it.
Because if you don't feel it, they don't feel it. And I'm a fan of the games. I'm a fan of the worlds. I'm a fan of every one of my characters. Even the bad ones have their reasons. Mm-hmm. And if you can get into that, and if you can feel that, and I can make it real for me, then maybe I'm making it real for somebody else.
Absolutely.
And it becomes immersive for them. So,
let's say without question.
Yeah.
Well, speaking to that point, what do you hope that players experience or feel from the characters that you portrayed in Oblivion? Who may be experiencing it for the first time,
yeah,
or maybe they're returning to it and having played the previous version of Oblivion.
I think that it makes me very happy that these characters are going to get a second chance. The Imperial Guards, you know, even in the strength of I once took an arrow to the knee, you know, even in with that coming around, people still remember the Imperial Guards of Oblivion.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I would say I see them probably second or third most from all Elder Scrolls titles, right? I'm looking at Jess over here, another Jess.
They jump scared me all the time. I've got core memories that I reacted because they would spot me stealing something, and yeah.
Well, I scared myself once playing the game. Oblivion, I'm up in one of the towers and one of the Oblivion gates, and I do the Dromora, the Daedric warriors that suddenly pop up and fight and battle in the middle of Oblivion. And it's the middle of the night. I'm walking up a winding staircase, and suddenly I come out. Sorry, Finn. Sorry, Finn. And
I didn't sign up for this.
I jumped, and I'm like, holy hell! I just scared myself.
Well, I was going to ask, do you find that you can disconnect from the characters that you've done and your voice in the game when you're playing as a player?
Yeah, you know, the thing is, when I'm playing the games, I am the character that I'm, you know, with the controller, that's me, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll listen to hear if the voice is immersive or if it stands out, if it didn't work. If it worked and it's fine, I'll let it go and I'll just enjoy the environment. That being said, there's something about people who are like, well, what do you play as? I'm like, I play as an Imperial. And they're like, every time? I said, yes, yes.
That was going to be a question.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I'm going to be out there and I've got a big broadsword and I'm battling going, yeah, yeah, ha! It's my voice. I'm the one who's actually doing the battle. As the Imperial, there's something kind of meta about that.
Yeah, totally.
It is
look at the screen, Finn.
Oh, man.
You're killing a skinned hound.
Yeah, you're not a skin hound. You're a furry hound.
Sorry, Finn.
Pet the dog. Love the dog.
So if you, as yourself,
awesome.
as Wes Johnson, were to be in Cyrodiil, who do you think you would be? Would you be like an adventurer or an alchemist or a sneaky archer?
Probably an adventurer. I was always the big sword guy. You know, I mean, going out and doing stealth and climbing up trees and hitting people with a bow and arrow from a distance is kind of fun occasionally. But let's be honest, we play this game because we have had a bad day and we want to take a broadsword and chop somebody up. You know, and not go to jail for it. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Which is terrifying, by the way.
Yeah, big flame. Those are scary, and the liches. And,
I was gonna say that while I'm very excited to play this myself, I'm so glad that I have to do it on here because I would be really sucking trying to multitask.
I do love the running around, getting involved in things. Now, I know I'm not the only one that at the end of a big session, I save and decide to murder the entire town.
Yeah, totally.
Gotta
That's
kill
just what you do.
Everybody in town.
It is always important to save, especially for reasons like this. Pro tips.
Then you come back after you've murdered pretty much everybody, and you go back to that original save. Don't they somewhat be like, I'm
just
feeling a little uneasy
in your head
suddenly.
What your character was doing, and then it goes back and snaps back into reality.
I think all the Dark Brotherhood quests are so cool. The party is a very good one, where you have to go around the party and knock a bunch of people off, and they don't know it's you. I mean, who's not had that experience?
The amount of diversity and range in the types of quests that are in Oblivion and stories that you hear are definitely exciting, and you can't wait for people to experience those or re-experience them.
So when you played Oblivion initially, what stuck out for you?
Just, I mean, the vastness of the world, like how expansive it was and how beautiful it was. I'm one of those people that plays where there's a quest marker. I'm just going to go in the other direction. I like, oh, what's over here? Oh, what's over here? And just the amount of surprise and gifts that keep on giving in terms of the world building of Oblivion just was like, it blew my mind. I started with Fallout 3 for Bethesda Game Studios titles.
Yeah.
So I was like not expecting to, I mean, I knew it wasn't Fallout, but I was not expecting to jump in and be like, oh, this is like completely vibrant and different and exciting. So I just loved that. And
From the very beginning, you feel pretty guilty about what goes down. Yeah. I personally feel I owe an apology to Patrick Stewart. How
could we?
I've been in a couple of games with Patrick Stewart and haven't met him once. Got this close at Sutton Place Gourmet in DC, someone's like, Patrick Stewart's downstairs ordering a sandwich. I'm like, Patrick Stewart eats sandwiches. We have that in common. I eat sandwiches. And by the time I got down there, they'd this place that is notoriously slow at putting out sandwiches got his lickety split and he was gone.
Oh man, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Here you go, Wes.
Oh my
The
goodness,
grand
look
reveal.
at that. Oh, well, look at the hair. It looks like I've been using a little Grecian formula.
So what do you think now, almost 20 years later, seeing this take on Sheo?
I've always loved this Sheo. I've loved this outfit. He looks a little bored.
I think he's just not mad enough yet.
He'll get there. Oh, I saw, let's see the expression changing slightly.
I love the hand tap.
Yeah. But I think he looks a little bit more like me. Here I've been mantling him all along, and now he's mantling the old me.
Definitely the facial hair. You need to get in on like the golden eyes, though.
Well, I have those contacts for when I go out to cons and things of that sort. After about an hour, they feel like little clay pigeons on my eyeballs.
I can imagine it's probably not very comfortable.
But they're great for staring contests. People don't want to continue to look you in the eye.
Oh yeah, I can imagine it's just like darting away, and it's like I can see you now looking at me right in the eye.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for anybody that would potentially want to get into voice acting or pursue a career in voice acting?
I would say first things first, get yourself a recorder, whether it's a handheld recorder, something, we have them all on our phones now. You can build yourself a studio pretty quickly and easily, but you got to work on the dead sound. But just the handheld recorder, get some dialogue and start reading this dialogue. And when I say read, I don't mean read, because it sounds like you're reading, you've taken somebody out of it.
Right.
If it sounds like you're acting, you take somebody out of it. I need you to just become. Look at those lines and remember that your job is not just to read what's on the paper. It's to bring it to life. And voice acting also includes breathing, sighing, laughing. Make it natural. Bring emotion to it. Try different things. I do a class through a theater lab of teaching video game voice acting. And that's one of the things I work with people on, is you listen to this stuff, you record this stuff, and let it sit for 2 days. Because when you're recording or you're in the moment, ideally, you're 100% in character and you're not thinking about all these things. If you give yourself 2 days distance, you can listen to it a little more objectively.
Yeah.
And then you say to yourself, that's when your director comes in, or your technical director. Never while you're performing. But when you're listening back to it 2 days later and you go, okay, I could have done this, could have done that. Because you're not just training your voice, you're training your ear. And that's hugely important. In anything, to succeed at something, you got to do it. And so I tell people in my class, this is their homework assignment every week, and they get something, or they get little lines and things of that sort to work on, and we discuss it, and what did they hear, what are they doing, and I don't ever listen to it. I want them to listen to it, and then we discuss what they've done. Because when that 6-week course is over, whose counselor are they going to be leaning on? Their own.
Right.
And you want to, the people who were not really serious about it, stop.
Yeah.
The people who were serious about it, continue to do those recordings, continue to do something, knowing that every time you go out for an audition, you look at places like on Reddit, they have Casting Call Club, where you can go in and maybe get yourself a job doing mods. And, it's important. First of all, if you do a mod and you do it well, you're going to have stuff that you can use in your demo.
Right.
Also, these people are up-and-comers in the industry. And word of mouth is very important. So if you can start on a ground level with somebody who's starting out and they begin to know you and trust you, and you grow and learn together, that's the best. So I would say, if you want to do it, and make that part of your job is going out there and looking for auditions. You can look on Backstage, you can look at Actors Access. If you're in the DC area, there's a thing called DragonutConnects.com that shows free auditions. And then you go to Casting Call Club online. If you do take my course, we have a Discord group, and it's just full of my alumni, and they all share.
I'm sure everybody is really helpful. And
they help each other
with their experiences.
And that's the thing. Work with people who are working, not with people who are like, oh, I could do it if I wanted to.
Everybody thinks
if I really wanted to, I'd be better than anybody else. Have you been doing anything about it? No, but someone will offer me a job eventually. Now, you got to chase everything down. You got to do it because you love it. That's it. Nobody's getting rich doing this, but you have to love it.
Yeah.
Oh, and God help me, Jess, I love it.
Great life advice.
Yeah, that is just great life advice. You heard it. Do it.
That young Balrog's not going to get any older.
And then you can immortalize yourself forever in a video game.
Yeah.
Multiple characters, like Wes, if you're lucky.
And to see this come back all these years later, and it's going to be, I think this is going to be huge. I think people are just going to love it all over again.
Well, they don't have to wait much longer because it is available today.
Go get it.
Go get it. Go download it. It's on Xbox Series X, NES, and day one on Game Pass. It is also on PC and PlayStation 5. So.
And I don't know what you're waiting for. You're sitting around. It's not going to just drop into your lap. Go find it. Go get it.
I got nothing to add to that.
Get you.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much, Wes. And Finn.
Finn?
You're an excellent co-host, Finn.
Finn, say bye-bye to all the peoples. Bye.
I was born 87 years ago. But for all these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams. This is the 27th of last seed, the year of Akatosh 433. These are the closing days of the Third Era, and the final hours of my life. I have seen the gates of Oblivion, beyond which no waking eye may see. This is only the beginning. Worse is yet to come. Looks clear.
A trap! The time of cleansing draws nigh.
Who now will save us from the coming darkness? Here you must find your own path.
Remember the Emperor!
Find him, and close shut the jaws of Oblivion.
Huh. I guess that's over. Okay. No, we're not gonna watch all that over again. I guess I'll try to find... guess the remaster trailer. And just like that one. Man, that's crazy that the remaster is out now. That is absolutely insane. I'm gonna just like both. And yeah, we'll just do a little team though. Like this one.
I was born a...
Alright. I am just gonna be all nostalgic. Yeah, sorry about that. Last part. I was probably knocked out. And I probably didn't have a chance. At the live stream, you guys probably saw another clip and you were just like, hey, what the heck was that? Hey, Ethan, where are you? Oh crap, I think he's actually asleep. And I'm like, yeah, I'm probably asleep.
87 years ago.
Anyway, we're gonna just deep dive and watch this real quick.
I was born 87 years ago. But for all these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams. This is the 27th of last seed, the year of Akatosh 433. These are the closing days of the Third Era, and the final hours of my life. I have seen the gates of Oblivion, beyond which no waking eye may see. This is only the beginning. Worse is yet to come.
Looks clear.
A trap! The time of cleansing draws nigh.
Who now will save us from the coming darkness? Here you must find your own path.
Remember the Emperor!
Find him, and close shut the jaws of Oblivion.
That was amazing. Alright, so trailer-wise, like, being biased, I would give it 10. Or should I give it a 9 out of 10? I don't know. I really... It's a solid trailer, and in terms of that. But, hey, I will be right back. And I'm back. Sorry about the long wait. And that probably was an awkward, like, pause. And what I mean by awkward pause, when we were watching the live stream, and then it went to a Bloodborne live stream, and I'm like, what the heck happened? I was like, So it's probably going to be pretty awkward when I watch the live stream and be like, I was like, I don't remember this. But I was probably asleep. Anyway, the trailer, if I'm being biased, oh yeah, this one was a 10 out of 10. Let's go ahead and just rewind just a little bit.
I was born 87 years ago.
I just love how they start with Patrick Stewart's opening narration. Like, if
But
you
for all
played...
these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams.
I just love how basically the intro is that iconic. You recognize the music instantly. That you are like, oh my gosh, I am going back to Cinderella. Wait, is it Cinderella or Cinderella? I was asleep, so I might have heard the name, but I was probably in La La Land right now, and I was like, oh. I was like, my gosh. So, already from the get-go, the open narration, if you played Oblivion, you absolutely love it. You're back. You're back to Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion with the... I love how iconic the intro is. That basically it doesn't matter if it's a new color paint of what we're doing with this deer, like, huh? Yeah, I love how they just basically show the new visual upgrades with the iconic intro. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter with the new fresh coat of paint. It doesn't matter all that. It's just, it's beautiful. I love it.
This is the 27th of Last Seed. The year of Akatosh 433. These are the closing days of the Third Era and the final hours of my life.
I love the new color paint. Yeah, working with for T or I think it was Fortuitous. Yeah, with the new color paint that Bethesda Game Studios doing with the other company too. I love it. I love that we are at this moment that basically everything from 2006, this feels like a central play. But of course, it's been out, I guess it's whatever time zone you're in, but it came out that same day of the live stream. So of course, people has probably put maybe 50 plus hours or 20 plus hours depending on how detailed you are with this game. So I like that basically the new... In terms of visual upgrades, the environment looks astounding. The character models look so much better that it feels like an essential way to play Oblivion. I just love that there's a new... I just love this new high fidelity. I imagine there's a performance in a fidelity mode. I just like how it just... I even liked how in the live stream that they showed the original. I get where Doc is coming from, that they did kind of talk too much about the behind the scenes about the game instead of show the gameplay a little bit. I will admit, if you really think about it, they kind of show up to 30 minutes of gameplay, but it was mostly them talking. That's probably why I fell asleep. Yeah, but I got real busy, so I couldn't really deep dive it. I did offer some commentary, but I was so out of it. But yeah, the actual gameplay, what they actually did, oh yes, the trailer by itself is a 10 out of 10 in terms of my biased opinion. But yeah, look at this. Look at this. I mean, it's like you're back home, but bear in mind, watching this in 2006, it was still iconic, but man, it's just, you get chills just seeing this guy played by Patrick Stewart. It's just done extremely well.
I have seen the gates of Oblivion.
The gates of Oblivion,
beyond which no waking eye may see.
Yep, all you need to see.
Us from the coming darkness.
Man, that brings me back with that.
Who now will save us from the coming darkness?
I remember the intro for that. I remember. Oh my gosh! I remember the intro in the Xbox. I had the Xbox 360 because that was the way to go when Oblivion was it doesn't matter what console or PC, but I played this originally on the Xbox 360. So seeing the intro about this and that kind of like the intro they had before for this, it was so iconic and it just brought you back to, and that's what the developers are doing right. They're bringing you back to what you love about Oblivion just from the visual upgrade. A really needed, well polished visual upgrade. I imagine there's barely $80 in it. Whoever's getting to play this, gonna have to look at PlayStation Store and see. I wonder what people are thinking, especially the new people who have never ever played Oblivion. I love how the battle system looks. It just seems more polished. It seems more like snappy, precise. Oh, well, game audio. That's amazing. I love how the battle system is. It does seem like it's like honoring Oblivion, but it's adding
Here
like
you
a
must
lot of
find your own
Skyrim
path.
Remember the Emperor!
I just love that. I remember the unicorn. Man, that was a solid side quest.
Find him and close shut the jaws of Oblivion.
The music's fantastic. Presentation is well done. Voice acting's top notch. I love this week. Yeah, Bethesda and Virtuous. I think it was Virtuous. They didn't have to do this. They didn't have to even put new recorded lines. They absolutely could have reused lines and it would have been completely cool. I mean, we already had the guy like, "Hold! You just stole stuff. Then pay with your blood." They had that guy just doing the voice, or he was just doing like a gameplay stream and just talking about it. I enjoyed that, but it did kind of like go as long as it. But yeah, the guy is iconic. I mean, he's been playing since even Morrowind, so yeah, give Johnson much credit as you can. I mean, he did kind of start memes and start a franchise. Man, he's getting up there in age, but man, 20 years that he had to come back to Oblivion, so that's been like decades. All right, but let's read the comments a little bit and then we'll finish it out. Yes, it was the single best thing. Yeah, that sums it up. And you know what? That's also crazy too. They shadow drop it. Well, not really. We knew it was coming from when it was announced, but there was always theories and just like leakers, and there was always like screenshots like, "Hey, it's coming." I was born 87 years ago. Oh, absolutely. We all felt that. 20 years. 20 years. And it's 20 years. 20 years for some of us who haven't played this game. In my case, it's been a long freaking time, too. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I like how they did the whole watch because Sam Wake did the same thing, like, and the DLC will be available, watch, today. And I'm like, yes, I love when they do that. I love when they just shell drop. They just give us all this flashy stuff and talk about their materials and content that's coming out. And then they say, it's available today. I love when they do that. And also, the question is Expedition 33 going to be overshadowed from Oblivion Remake? I mean, just came out. Well, I guess in whatever time zone you're in. It just came out. I love, yes, available today is the biggest mind drop. I love when the game directors or developers just do that. I love that. Every single time. We should have that. Yes, I was like, when I heard it was pretty much available today, I was like, so not only did you show us like all the good shit, then you release it at the same time, or you release it right now. Because Ninja Gaiden 2, the remake, did the same thing, or Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. I just love when they do that. Every time. If they do that, and then, you know what? That should be a standard. It should be a standard that if you show some really good stuff, and if you release it at the same time, you are going to be able to love. They should do that. kind of wish From Software would do that, but they don't do that all the time. I kind of wish they would. Man, yes, absolute chills. It was absolute cinema. I mean, that's kind of true. They went back in the past instead of 6. They said they were hard at work at 6, but they revealed it way too much. Okay, but you could tell that pretty much the diehard fans of Oblivion, we've been asking for this. We just didn't think it was ever happening, and now it's happening, and we're all living. We're all happy. We're giving ourselves a pat on the back. We're like 20 years, but it was worth the wait. Man, it's history. Nobody was expecting this. Virtuous. Thank you, Virtuous, for working with Bethesda. They need to get back on track. But you guys already seen this, so we're just going to rush through all this because we already said this from the intro. The main thing is, it's available today, and if you're one of the lucky few who has Xbox Game Pass, you're probably playing this on the Xbox Series X or S as we're speaking, or if you already have basically saved up and just like when you immediately heard Oblivion, if you played it back in 2006, or you're curious about it, you probably already bought it. All I can say, as a guy who actually put 90 plus hours, or I guess 100 plus hours or more, compared to that guy who said, oh, I put 10,000, I'm like, oh shit, dude, you did. If you're one of those guys, or whoever, if you're one of those individuals who have put time in this, then hey, prepare to go back to Oblivion once again. But if you have not tried Oblivion, all I can say is sweeping stories, sweeping iconic stories you're going to just love, from the main campaign to the iconic side stories. You are never going to basically leave a side quest it's a stone unturned. Trust me on that. You are compelled to do the side quests because they're that well done. You think Skyrim is amazing? Yeah, Oblivion was that kind of like that game that came before Oblivion, or the game that came before Skyrim, that just hit all the right notes for that time. So yeah, it gets its respect. I would say in terms of the live stream, I could give it a 9, because they gave me what I wanted. They showed the clips. I'm kind of with Doc too, they kind of did go way, way into the behind the scenes. But I have no complaints. I think Oblivion deserves all that. It deserves its own live stream. It gave us all the kind of visual upgrades that was so necessary. This feels like an essential way to play a very old 2006 game, but just given with modern sensibilities and modern touches. So, as pretty much, I guess, an old guy who played this back in the day, just to see it with the visual upgrade, it just feels respectful. I just wish that Bethesda Game Studios keep that up. So maybe that's a hint that they need to work with up-and-coming Virtuous Studio just to give us what we want, because Starfield, we thought that's what we wanted, but then they kind of buckled. I don't know what was going on with that one, but I just like that. I very much appreciate this. This gives me kind of a little bit of hope that we are gonna get Elder Scrolls 6. Maybe it'll be Shadow Drop. Maybe they'll actually give us a release year for 6. Depending on how successful Oblivion is, I am so curious of what the PlayStation Store is. It's probably going to be high. It'll probably be, probably a 3.9 or above. Optimistically, I think it's a 4.0. I'm going to have to check the PlayStation side. All I can say is, game count will probably be high. I mean, this will put Bethesda Game Studio back on the map, because this was their kind of magnus opus. What I'm saying is, play the game. Freaking play the games. Prepare to spend 90 plus hours. This is typical of good Bethesda Game Studios. So, yeah, having Virtuous kind of be a part of this, yeah, I very much approve this. And that kind of sums it up. So, yeah, once again, yeah, I apologize if basically you saw probably Bloodborne lore and probably a lot of clips of whatever I was when I was asleep. But hey, life, busy and all that. So that kind of covers. That's my opinion about it. I know I was probably gone for half of it, a little bit, but yeah. Live stream, I'll give it 9. The trailer by itself, the official trailer, 10 out of 10. Oh, man. Without a doubt. Okay, well, that's pretty much it. So of course you can leave that like, comment, or subscribe. Are you playing Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered? Or are you watching gameplay, memes? Are you basically checking out the official trailer multiple times? Or if you're one of the lucky few, have you already bought the game or already got the Xbox Game Pass and you're just playing as we're talking? Well, you can definitely leave a comment of what do you think about Oblivion Remastered? Does it still hold up? Is it better than the original? I mean, the original was so iconic, so it's kind of without a doubt. Alright, well, that's all I'm going to leave you guys with, so I will try to do a walkthrough, like, for, I guess, and whatever time zone you're in. So, let's end it with this transition. So have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone you're in, and I'll see you at the next clip. Have a good one, everybody. Ah, man, I must be tired. I feel like it was just Bloodborne lore. Well, I'll see you in the live stream.